All right, we're so glad that you folks are here with us. Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose? Who vex vex? Do let us know, guys, if you're hearing us loud and clear. We hope this time we don't have any feedback. Leon Blair, we see you there. Linda Barker, Leon Blair, Naldo Grant, we see you as well. Some of you joining us on YouTube, some on Twitter, some on Facebook, some on LinkedIn. Whichever page on Facebook you're joining us from, we are very happy that you folks are here with us. It's a wonderful day. It's the first day of March already, believe it or not. The first day of March. We're broadcasting live from National Capital City in Georgetown, Guyana, and we are going to have Councillor Randolph Critchlow joining us from Region 4 as we discuss some of the issues that have been happening there. We're going to be discussing some of those issues. Darley Anderson, good to see you, and Laverne Wade, apologies for this morning. We couldn't help it. We really tried to salvage what we could of the program. But that feedback, my God, apologies there. When I learned communications at the University of Ghana, they tell us every live stream you do is unique, and you're faced with different set of challenges. That is the nature and business of live streaming, and most times we try to do our best and we get the better of it, but sometimes, like this morning, it gets the better of us. And we apologize. We apologize. Debbie Hohen Kirk, Errol Pratt, we see you there. Good to have you. Brampton, Ontario is in the house, folks. Brampton is here. Good to have you, Brampton, and all the other guys who are joining us. Good to see you, folks. Debbie Hohenkirk. Great to see Debs and Hazelin King. Good to see Hazelin as well, and all the other folks who are going to be joining us. Folks, I want to get right into it. Right into it. As I said, we do have the counselor, perhaps one of the most recognizable counselors there in Region 4. He's going to be joining us today, the one and only Randolph Critchlow. He's a man who is always pondering on the deep mysteries of life. He's going to be joining us. But good to have each and every one of you here, guys, wherever you all are joining us from. Great to have each and every one of you here with us, guys. We ain't gonna waste no time today. But good to have you. Want to get right into that discussion. A lot of foolishness been happening at Region 4. Compliments of the Regional Executive Officer, the REO, yeah, Donald Gadraj. One Donald Gadraj. A lot of foolishness has been happening there, guys. And we're going to share some of that with you today. We're going to share some of that with you and try to make sense if we can. We know Randolph is a bright fella, but even sometimes the bright people can't make sense of the foolishness or the foolish. So we're going to circle back to some of that in just a second, good folks. I want to get a couple of things out of the way, and I'm going to bring Randolph right in. I'm going to bring Randolph right in a second to help us through some of the things making the news at this hour. We ain't gonna waste no time at all, at all, at all. We're gonna bring him in straight away. Straight away. We're gonna bring him in because we want you guys to know and get an appreciation of some of what's happening. And some of the contradictions you have, some of the sheer contradictions you have on some of these issues. We're gonna bring Randolph in a second. Guys, take the opportunity as we hold for our friend and brother from another mother, uh, Randolph Pictures, we hold for him to come. Take the opportunity to share the live, to smash that emoji button, folks, and we're gonna do what we gotta do. Take that opportunity, please, and thank you. Take that opportunity, please, and thank you, good folks. Take the opportunity. Good to have each and every one of you here. Trust that the morning was kind to you guys. We really trust the morning was kind to you. Was it? or are we asking for too much? Was it kind to you guys? Was it kind, or is we asking for too much? Do let us know, good folks. We want to know. We want to know. But great to have each and every one of you here. Good folks, wherever you all are joining us from. We are privileged as normal. Privileged to have you good folks here with us. Where are you joining us from, and what's the weather like? Where you guys are, do tell us that. We're gonna drag our brother Randolph into the discussion in just a second. In just a sec, we're gonna drag him in, kicking and screaming. We're gonna drag him in. We just want to make sure we have all the pieces set up at our end that we need to go forward before we drag him in. But good to have you guys nonetheless, and we encourage you. You know how we encourage you. You know how we encourage you. Share the live, smash that emoji button. Let's do what we gotta do, folks, as quickly as we can, and let me get out of your hair so you can go on and have a great, fantastic rest of the day. We're just making sure we have all the pieces queued up at the back end, and then we're gonna do what we gotta do on the front end. But share the live, guys. Smash that emoji button. You know, uh, we have some unintended consequences of our show here. Lots of places we traverse. You know, you're here in the ring. Share the live. Share it. Yep. So, that's what we hear. Share the live. Share the live. We're happy. We're just happy people recognize us. We can take it as it comes. We are going to take it as it comes, folks. Again, we're happy to see each and every one of you here. And let me see if we can pull in. Randy, are you there? Are you there, my brother?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
Good
Hello?
afternoon. Are you hearing us?
Great, great.
Any feedback in
Yeah.
your
No feedback. I'm hearing you clear. Everything is good.
All right. Let me bring down the volume a little bit too so we hear you absolutely clearly. Give us a second just to do that. Pull down some of the volume. Uh, Randy, I want to, before we get into what's happening at Region 4, I'm going to invite you to walk with me through some of the issues happening uh, currently out there, some of them internationally, some of them regionally, and then we have some of them at home we're going to be talking
Mhm.
about. First up, Randy, in the US of A, there was a political upset in Chicago. The mayor, Lori Lightfoot, a first term mayor, lost her footing there and was ousted by some challengers, some newcomers to the process. Lori Lightfoot is out as mayor of Chicago.
Foot too light.
And for those of you who joined, they're telling us here, one thing with the Americans, they always got the stats for you like that. They keep a
Uh-huh.
record. They keep a record of everything. They're telling us not before, not since 1983, not since 1983 has a mayor in Chicago not won re-election. And they say part of what has been to her detriment, Lori Lightfoot, is that she's been too controversial, too up in your face. And the people there in Chicago, this is the hometown, this is the city where Barack Obama hails from, where he has his presidential library and all of that. Um, a-
Mhm.
and none of that was enough to save her. She's out. She's out. And her two challengers, one Villas and Johnson, they're heading to a runoff in a couple of days. Lori Lightfoot is out. Too late, as you said.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting development.
Correct is right. So we have that happening. And then on the Nigerian front, they've had an election there. They have a very, very strong third party candidate that is running there. That seem to have been gaining a lot of momentum, especially among its young people. But the ruling party has managed to stave off its challengers. This is the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress. The incumbent president, he has already served two terms and can go no more, and he's handing over to Tinubu. Bola Tinubu, who
Mhm.
has promised to carry forward lots of his promises, lots of his promises too and plans. What is interesting about Nigeria? Nigeria reflects our country so much. They're an oil-producing state, but
Yeah.
a lot of people there live below the poverty line, far below
Yeah.
the line. So they got a lot of issues, and Bola Tinubu seems to be the man of the moment. Of course, lots of rigging and so on. Allegations have been alleged against the ruling party there, but for all intents and purposes, they seem to have held off the challengers, this all progressive Congress. Yeah.
Yeah. It what let me echo those same sentiments, Shared. I think a lot of what is happening in Nigeria we can use as lessons because we see the movement fueled by the young people right now that is very anti-establishment, anti-government because they feel as if the wealth of the country, it's the continent's largest oil producer. It is the most populous country in on the continent, and many of the young people feel as if the monies that are being garnered from the oil riches are not reaching to the people, and so you have this upswell, this movement to ensure that more of the country's patrimony goes to the people. And I think we can learn lessons from that. We can say, hey, we do not want this to happen. And you know, I really hope that we do look around the region and around the world and not repeat those mistakes of those countries that have found oil.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Again, this is a really this is a good case study.
Mm-hmm.
While you have the all progressives celebrating here, lots of people aren't because
Yeah.
they expect a turnaround from um, Tinubu's party. That hasn't been the case at all, and I guess that is why a lot of people um, throw through their support behind this third place. What they calling the third place finisher. Um, Obi, they call his followers the obedience. I was kind of taken in by them. I naturally root for the underdogs. Naturally, I root for the underdogs. And their independent National Electoral Commission has come out to say that the All Progressive Congress, they are the winners of this election. They said Tinubu won about 8.8 million votes, or 37% of the votes. Um, Abu Bakr, this is the opposition, the main opposition. They won. His party won 29% of the votes, and then you had the third place finisher Obi with 25%. I mean, this is stunning even for a third party, right?
Yes.
Stunning
Yes.
for a third party, which again speaks to the disenchantment of Nigerians with the process they have.
Definitely. Definitely. And we'll keep our eyes on it because I believe in the coming years, um, if the governing, the ruling party doesn't change course, you'll see more and more popularity being gained by those third parties because people are fed up, shared. People are fed up. You know, you can't sit back every day and see the rich just continue to get rich and one sit. You know, it people reach a breaking point. And as I talk to Guyanese, a lot of them feel as if our breaking point will be very, very soon.
Yep, 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 yep. And
Mhm.
soon, very soon, that's always the
Uh-huh.
that's always the how soon, very soon. Yeah. On the regional front in Trinidad, they got they got their own little upstart there too. They got their own little OB and obedience in Trinidad. Progressive Democratic Patriots, and they're signaling through their party leader Winston Duke that they're going to be contesting in the local government elections that they have impending too. All of the 10, what do they call them? We call
Parishes.
they call them constituent. We call them
Par-
constituencies. Uh,
parishes.
well, same thing.
Mhm. Same difference.
Their party's going to be contesting all 10 of them, and he has his eyes set on the job of the mayor of Port of Spain.
Ah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There. Um, Trinidadian politics, resembles us very, very, very liberal politics. And I was very heartened in my early days in Trinidad by how people do not retreat to say I am UNC or I am PNM. They're very proud, and there isn't, by the stretch of the imagination, the kind of victimization you have happening locally. It's astonishing to me that you can live in a country, and because of which political party you belong to, you can't get a work, you can't get a job, because either people are afraid to hire you, or um, because of the victimization. Either way, been a vindictive administration or fearing victimization to hire you. People are very, very reluctant, and you got all of those things operating. Trinidad is a different kettle of fish. Very, very robust polity, Randy. I mean, did we lose? Did we lose Randy? Randy, are you still there?
Oh, sorry, my mic was off. My mic was off. Sorry.
Go
So
ahead.
I was about to tell you. Let me share a story with you that gives a reflection of the nature of the vindictive politics in Guyana.
Talk to us. Talk to
Uh, Recently, somebody invited me to be part of a WhatsApp group, right? A WhatsApp group. I wouldn't say what the WhatsApp group is about, but I'm going to say that a number of persons who work with the government was in this WhatsApp group. And one particular person who works on the Ramson, I saw that person in a matter of hours remove remove themselves from the group. And so I called the person. I said, "What happened? What is issue, master? You know, you know how the man stay. You know how Ramson stay. I can't, because somebody might screenshot it and you realize that I there in a group with you, and I might lose me work. That imagine such a thing. Imagine that people are moved to the level and say, what, I can't even be seen in a WhatsApp group with somebody from the other party because it will put my job in jeopardy. Imagine that is the level that we are in this country, the amount of fear that people are living under because their livelihood is being threatened because you associate with a particular person. That is that speaks to so much of what is happening in this country. And as you said, it's one of the strangest things. One of the strangest things that you live in a country and you are basically blacklisted by association and you can't get a work. We can punish you because you chose to associate with a political party or a person who is affiliated with a political party. And that is Guyana in a nutshell. That is a PPP, I should say, in a nutshell.
Yep, 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 yep. We got a far ways to go. We got a far ways to go. Um, we talk democracy here, But democracy here, really and truly, is putting an X on the ballot paper,
Yep,
and
yep,
authoritarianism and dictatorship that currently exists afterwards.
yep, yep. Everything else, all of the guardrails of democracy, all of the vestiges of democracy, everything that characterizes a democratic state has been stripped away. From local democracies to transparency to this idea of inclusionary governance. Nothing. It's as if we're being run by some a lawless cowboy gang. And so, yes, we can talk. Oh, elections, 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 elections. So when the election's done, we must practice no other form of democracy. We must just be subjected to this the monarch with King Jack Dio at the top, and wherever he said the ministers must do, and they must not be held accountable for anything. That is what that's the country we living in. They do what they have to do on the PAC, so they if they want to come, they ain't got no accountability. They put people on state boards. They do whatever they want. You don't see they getting problem with the oil people the other day, and so it is just a clear sign that this is not a government. We have a gang of people that's running a cowboy democracy as far as I concern in this country, and you see it reflective in what is happening in Region 4. I know we're going to get to that, But what is happening in those regions where they do not control, they see we are if we abandon anything that resembles democracy. And so we just do what we want to do. That is a cowboy democracy as far as I'm concerned.
Correct is right. Correct is right. It's madness. It's madness. And I'm really hoping, and I know you are as well, Randy, that we can really become a modern democratic state. Not only talk, but walk the walk. And that walking the walk, they're not going to be, some people can't stand there, this king and be because they practice a kind of thing here that um, it's not democracy. Let me just put it simply. And finally, before we get into things happening at Region 4, finally, look story here. This big building is finished being built at Middle and Chalmers Street there. Uh,
Mm.
Teleperformance has now added this new annex, and they're saying that there are 5,000 jobs that are going to be created here. I like that. People must get work.
But Sherrod, how will you get this 5,000 number from, man? I hear one report says 1,000 jobs.
You get all these things, and we can
Like you, like you got some shares in this teleperformance thing. You inflating these numbers over, man.
that's the number that we see circulating out there. But why we people at Teleperformance, we know the owner of this building making some money. Yeah, building here at again Middle and Thomas Street. Money got from Mick, Randy, because we're learning this building belongs to a high government official who has been advertising the building on Facebook, and the jobs are being created too. I don't know where you see it. The people say 5,000 jobs. Who am I to say less? You gotta make this
But
figure.
I am just quoting another report that I saw 1,000. So
Mhm.
it's some thousand.
Well, people probably look at the building size and saying, all right, 1,000 alone could hold it. Somebody the roof, something on the side of the building. We don't know. But money
Money
making.
making, money making. I will say though that every time I see um businesses established and opening up to the public and jobs being available, I feel good. I can't tell you that I don't feel. I feel good, and I would encourage, especially those young people coming out of school that need a little experience, pick up these jobs, take them up, gain a couple of years experience in the corporate world, see what work is about as you continue to educate yourself and take advantage of all of the education opportunities out there. You know, I I when you open the papers, you see the jobs. You see the jobs. And Sharon, it is an interesting thing. I mean, we had this conversation before. But it seems as if a lot of the jobs are out there are if those persons who are leaving the universities and all these scholarships will take them up, they'll be underpaid, they'll be underemployed if I get my term correct. I would like to see more of the higher paying jobs on the market when I open up the papers.
Hmm.
As good as these jobs is, these are not necessarily the highest paying jobs.
Correct, correct. And I saw one fella um there the other day saying 25,000 you get grocery for the whole month. You know, to be able to work well in this country,
uh,
and for people to be able to live well in our country. That's very, very important. Randy, let's turn our attention to some issues that are central to you as a counselor, important to you as a counselor, and important to this nation, I dare say, because Region 4 plays such an important role in our nation. It's the largest, most populous region. Um, and you win Region 4, you win the election, really and truly. So you had a lot of shenanigans happening there quite recently at the Region 4 regional office there. We had, let's start from that, what do you call it? You had a flag raising ceremony. You know,
yeah.
we're a big nation up, right? And we are going up, but it seems as though the REO there, Donald Gadrat, don't think so. He don't think so at all. And the chairman of the region was inviting we have to use off the cuff to give some remarks during that flag raising ceremony. And he wouldn't have it. He would not have it. And
Yeah.
simply because of his action snatching the mic from the chairman and all of that. And no confidence
Yeah.
motion brought against him right
Yeah.
in region 4 yesterday. And I want to
Shared you a bit low. I'm struggling to hear you.
apologies. Let me see if I can give you some more audio. What about that?
Not much better. You're a bit low, like if you're far away from the mic, but I don't know
Right.
what's happening.
Let me give you some more audio there. Yeah.
Mhm.
You see, I understand those people who went to school with the boom boom buses, they hear it, the boom boom
Yeah.
buses a little off. But that being
Yeah.
said, um, that no confidence motion was brought against the REO Donald Gatraj yesterday, and
Mhm.
rightfully so. I want to give our viewers a little sense of what happened there.
Yes. Yes.
Let's come back, and you can add some more context to it.
No problem.
Right? So give us a sec, guys. We're gonna pull that up for you. Um, and I know this issue is going to this is going to be one of those other issues we gotta deal with going forward. Right? And if you guys just give us a sec, we're gonna pull that right up for you. A lot of foolishness, and this REO seems to think he's a law unto himself. Take a bit of some.
And whereas the clerk of the council finally refuses And whereas the clerk of council defiantly refuses to arrange regional administrative committee meetings as directed by the council.
Please note that there is no guidance given to us. And we must not continue like this. Because come next month, when we raise the issue against him again, he will walk out. And we cannot continue like that. Every time we raise an issue that has to do with the REOs and the clerk of council's conduct, we end up with something like this. So I respectfully ask that the motion be read. The meeting was convened by a quorum. And when I look around this room, I can still see that we have a quorum. So, Comrade, Councillor Pyle, please complete the motion and all of the other motions.
I rise to present this motion. Motion of no confidence against Mr. Donald Gadraj, Clerk of the Council, Demerara, Mahaiku Region 4. Whereas the clerk refused to implement multiple directives, motions, and decisions passed by the Regional Democratic Council, the duly elected governing body of the Demerara, Mahaiku Region 4. And whereas the Clerk of Council defiantly refuses to arrange regional administrative committee meetings as directed by the Council. And whereas the Clerk of the Council willfully refuses to schedule a meeting of the senior administrative officers of the Council every Monday as directed by Council. And whereas the Clerk of the Council refuses to present detailed financial reports of Agency 74 in accordance with the Council directives. And whereas the Clerk of the Council refuses to send the bill of quantities, contract copies, and weekly progress reports to the Works Committee as directed by the Council. And whereas the Clerk of the Council approves payments to contractors without Works Committee review. And whereas the Clerk of the Council spends the Chairman's budget 6211 contrary to the Chairman's and Council's requests. And whereas the Clerk of the Council is regularly absent from official or statutory council meetings, and whereas the Regional Democratic Council, the duly elected governing body of the Demerara Mahaika region, Region 4, constituted and activated several subcommittees of the Council. And whereas one such committee in the National and Other Events Committee, which is responsible for the planning and executing of national and other event celebrations at the regional level. And whereas the Committee for the Regional Flag Raising Ceremony in celebration of Guyana's 53rd Republic Anniversary agreed and approved a cultural program and submitted same to the Clerk of the Council, who is also the Regional Executive Officer, for his attention and execution. And whereas the Clerk of the Council arbitrarily and single-handedly changed the committee's approved cultural program without the knowledge or guidance of the committee, and whereas the Clerk of the Council self-appointed himself as the sessional chair for the cultural program unknowing to the committee. And whereas 4 honorable members of Parliament of the 12th Parliament of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana were present in the audience observing the cultural program. And whereas the Clerk of the Council on the day of the program, 22nd of February 2023, physically assaulted the duly elected Regional Chairman of Demerara Mahaika Region, Region 4, after the Regional Chairman delivered his brief remarks and invited one of the 4 honorable members of Parliament to also deliver brief remarks. Be it resolved that this Regional Democratic Council of the Demerara Mahaika Region condemns in the strongest of manner the reprehensible, dictatorial, and disrespectful behavior of Mr. Donald Gadrach, Clerk of the Council of the Demerara Mahaika Region. Be it further resolved that this Regional Democratic Council of the Demerara Mahaika Region has no confidence in Mr. Donald Gadrach as Clerk of Council and the Regional Executive Officer of the Demerara Mahaika Region, Region 4.
Thank you very much. At this point, we would entertain
Sharon, we're not hearing you. You lost your audio, Sharon?
Apologies there. Apologies there. I am planting away here. Randy, come right back in and help us to put that in context.
Okay, so for those persons who just looked at the happenings there, what happened yesterday at the RDC statutory meeting, the no confidence motion was brought. Now, I want to comment on a few things very quickly. A motion was moved on the floor to suspend the standing order so that we can deal with this urgent motion that was brought by the AP and UAFC. And there were no objections by the REO, by the PPP. And so that was passed, and the motion had started, the council had started reading the motion. In the midst of reading the motion, that is when the REO decided that he would object. And what played out is what you saw there. He got up and he stormed out, and the PPP side of the house also stormed out. Now, what is interesting to note, people, is that yes, we saw what happened at the flag raising ceremony. The disrespectful behavior of the REO towards the chairman of the region, after you would have invited Ms. Cathy Hughes to speak, and the pulling of the mic and the physical assault, whatever you want to call it, that distasteful behavior. Even besides that, before that, I want us to understand that this no confidence motion was long coming. I've sat on that council now for over a year, right? And Mr. Councillor Mackenzie spoke after, and he articulated quite well all of the issues that we have with Mr. Donald Gadraj, who was put there, as far as I'm concerned, by the Minister of Local Government to stymie the work of that council, and to ensure that the council is not part and parcel of the business of the region. And so Mr. Gadraj doesn't come to meetings very often. He sits in his office right there, although he's the clerk of the council. He sends his deputy. Secondly, the council gets no correspondence from the RU's office. So as far as the council is concerned, I am telling you this, Sherrod, that over a year, every single time Mr. Gadraj or his deputy comes to that meeting, it is almost a laughable thing at this point in time that you will hear no correspondence. So there is no letter, there is nothing being sent to the office to or any business is happening in the region. As far as the council is concerned, the region does no business because there is never any correspondence. And so that is a way that the REO has been trying to keep the council out of what is actually happening in the region.
Wow.
So he doesn't come. Go ahead.
Chairman.
Exactly. And that's reflected at the flag raising ceremony. He believes that he is running. He has been emboldened and empowered by this administration.
Unelected.
Right? Unelected. And so he doesn't come to meetings very often. When he comes, he of course doesn't present any correspondence. Like Councillor Mackenzie said, the region spent $9 billion. If you ask the councillors what this was spent on, they do not know. There is no disaggregated document that says this amount was spent on this project, this went to this contractor, this contractor completed on this date. The council does not know how this money was spent. Now, I'm saying these things for people to understand that all of this lands squarely on the desk of the REO. The REO is in charge of all that is happening here. Now, imagine spending $9 billion in a region, and the elected members of the council who are supposed to be organizing, who is supposed to be dealing with the business of the region, don't know how that money was spent. Another example of the madness that has been happening at Region 4. Now, how normal democracies and councils are supposed to work is that the councillors who have responsibility for various constituencies, they come back to the council with the issues and the concerns of those constituencies, and those issues and concerns form the basis for the budget. And so we know, based on all that the canvassing that we would have done in the region, hey, this road got to do, this bridge got to do, this has to be done, in this drainage got to be done in Hasington Grove, this got to happen. And so those things help to build the budget. The budget is built based off of those issues that the councillors will bring. Now imagine having a council and the council does not know what is in the budget for the region. The budget was prepared by the REO and his team and submitted to the central government as, okay, this is what Region 4 needs. I don't know if the REO is omnipresent and he is able to go into every single one of those constituencies and those NDCs and know the issues, and he is the God unto himself that he prepared the budget for the region. And so I am saying all of this for people to get an understanding that it is not just what happened at the flag raising. It is the fact also another issue.
Yeah.
You have the committees that were formed out of the council. One of those committees is the national and other events that is responsible for planning and organizing and executing national and other events in the region. So if the RDC is to put on a flag raising ceremony, then the National and Other Events Committee is responsible. They have a chairman, they have committee members, and they are supposed to work. The REO decided to arrogate the powers of that committee to himself, and he planned and put himself as the chairperson of this flag raising because he is the king of the region, apparently. And so this is why he was so upset when the chairman wanted to deviate a little bit from what was on the program, which he's entitled to, just ask Ms. Cathy Hughes to say a few words because, you know, it is only right that some other people get to speak. It's a national event. And so you have the non-attendance of meeting, no records of spending, no correspondence, no communication with the council. They taking over arbitrarily of committees of the council, and all of these things compounded so that we have said, look, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I want to wrap all of this up, Sharon, by looking at it from a macro level now. This is an untenable situation that can only be remedied by reform, by some sort of amendment to the local government act and law that will allow for the party that wins the region to select their administrative staff. We have a situation in Guyana, and this is why Gadraj can do this in Region 4 and the other REOs in Region 7 and 10 and 9 can frustrate the council and essentially relegate the council and the chairman to just figureheads. Y'all just meet once a month and talk, but we're not going to even inform you about how the monies are being spent in this region. So you cannot have a situation where the elected party, the party that wins the region in this case, the APNU AFC won Region 4. They won the right to govern the resources of that region. They won the right to, they have the majority on the council, they have the chairmanship, the vice chairmanship, and they have that right to govern the happenings in the region. And so you have a situation where you have a council won by one party, an untenable situation that, mind you, and then you have an administration led by the REU, and so the REU and his staff and the board people and all the various staffing of the administration administrative arm of the RDC, is they are selected by central government and the Minister of Local Government, who will of course put people there that will obviously be in constant tension with the council who is not of the same party. And so unless we decide that we want to be serious about governance and being efficient at the local government level, we are going to continue to have this situation. I know that this is a problem above the council's head. This is something that has to be dealt with at your level, MP, in Parliament, where
This is what we talk
the
about.
laws have to be amended to allow that. Yes, go ahead.
Real democracy has to take foot, and they know what is happening, but it's the wicked divisiveness of the PPP to allow it. They understand what is happening, and I'll show you. I know the AG understands what is happening, and he,
Yes.
being custodian of the Constitution, should be reprimanding this fella here.
Right. I hope you have that video to show the people what
We
the
have,
AG said,
I'm
right?
happy
Because
we have it.
because after listening to all of what Mr. Gadraj is doing, he has arrogated all of the powers onto himself and his office. And I want to juxtapose that against what the Attorney General said at the swearing-in ceremony of the councillors about the role of the REO. And so people understand that his silence at this point in time is testimony to his complicit nature and his hypocritical nature, because you stood when the council was being sworn in and you said the REO is supposed to carry out the mandate of the council. Now the REO has been instructed by your own party,
Yeah.
to take all the powers.
Yeah.
And so I would love for you to play that for the people.
But let's play that for the people, and then we come back at the other end. Take a listen, folks. What, as Randy said, the Attorney General said at the swearing in of the REOs for these various councils. Take a look. Take a listen.
Understand it fully. It's important also, and I say this because I've seen it happening in other regions, where we don't understand the role of the REO. The REO is the Regional Executive Officer. The principal function of the Regional Executive Officer is to execute the decisions of the council. We had a series of problems in one region where the regional officer felt that he was the regional council and defied decisions of the council and created a whole host of administrative ruckus. And you know who suffered in the end? The people whom you are expected to serve. So we don't want that kind of arrangement to happen. We don't want that kind of disastrous engagement.
We got to reconcile what's been happening at the RDC4. I mean, I like it a couple more times. Councillor Crucialo.
Yeah. The AG said something very interesting, Sharon.
Yeah.
He said that at the end of the day, the people suffer.
Correct.
And it is very instructive and important for us to understand that it is important that you allow the local organs and local democracy to prevail, because it engenders efficiency and efficient delivery of service to the people.
Mm-hmm.
If we continue down this road where you have REOs pulling in one direction, the council, of course, who is supposed to be the decision-making body, without any power, they're the people connected and bringing the information from the people. And then the REO deciding on his own that, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. It will always lead to inefficient delivery of service. And you know what? I say this because there is a tendency in politics to use the system to your advantage when you are in power. And you only realize that, hey, this thing is disadvantageous to me when I'm out of power. When you're out of power, then you realize that, you know what, this thing needs reforming. But we forget when we are in the seat of power that, look, this thing needs reforming. And I say this because I am hopeful, Sherrod, that when the APNU AFC gets into power, when we get into power, that we do not go down the same road. I am hopeful that we are able to display some level of maturity and mature politics and say, hey, this local government thing needs reforming. When a party wins the region, allow them to have their own REO. Allow them to select their REO and their staffing. And so we increase the efficiency of what happens in the region. Hear why I say this, and hear me out on the win-win ideology behind such a thing. Now, if you, as a government, take the more mature approach and say, hey, I'm not going to impose the REO on you. I'm not going to impose and foist staff on you. You won the region. You have your council have decided, hey, they want to do this. Choose your staff in. What happens in that region is efficient delivery of service. As the government, as a central government, you at the end of the day look good. You take advantage of that efficiency. You send your ministers to every ribbon cutting and every road opening and everything that they got and say, look, because of my prudent and mature political move, we have now better efficiency in this region. And you take advantage of it. And the alternative is what we have right now. And at the end of the day, if you look at it from a macro standpoint, you are not winning by trying to stymie the council. You are losing. You might think that you're winning. Correct. But the people suffer because of that inefficiency. And the central government looks bad at the end of the day. So I wanted to kind of put that out into the ethos there so people understand that, look, what this will call for in the future is maturity, pragmatism, and a sense of, look, fairness. And when you, and I know sometimes that word is hard for people to swallow in politics, but what you want at the end of the day is a local government system that works effectively and efficiently for the people. And so that's my take on it from a macro level.
Thanks for that, Randy. I want to play back that bit with the AG.
Yes.
In his own words, articulating what is the role of the REO. And so we're looking forward.
Yeah. I would like to know that the AG would intervene at this point in time, having seen and heard all of the evidence behind the reason for this no confidence, because I'm assuming that the AG will be called upon in some legal capacity because the RDC is very serious about this no confidence. And we are saying that we do not want to see Mr. Gadraj at the RDC.
Correct.
And the minister must move him. We have zero confidence in him. And so I suspect this will end up in a legal battle. And so the AG will have to sanction. And his own words will be used against him if he doesn't act in the manner that respects the rule of law and respects his own idea of how the REO is supposed to operate. And that is the crux of the matter.
Correct and agreed. To Anil's words we go. His words return. On the role of the REO.
Understand it fully. It's important also, and I say this because I've seen it happen in other regions, where we don't understand the role of the REO. The REO is the Regional Executive Officer. The principal function of the Regional Executive Officer is to execute the decisions of the Council. We had a series of problems in one region where the regional officer felt that he was the regional council and defied decisions of the council and created a whole host of administrative ruckus. And you know who suffered in the end? The people whom you are expected to serve. So we don't want that kind of arrangement to happen. We don't want that kind of disastrous engagement.
Yeah, it is to the hypocritical nature of the PPP to say that and then condone the likes of Donald Gadraj.
Yep.
Counselor,
Yeah.
your closing
Yeah.
thought
And
as we go.
as we close, and sticking on the AG, I think the AG is caught in a very embarrassing position at this point in time, but he has to take the egg off his face and face the public.
Yeah.
Because he has been silent on this matter. He has not publicly addressed it as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I mean, I stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to show some sort of leadership at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a concept and an idea that is alien to some of the PBP people, but to show some sort of mature leadership and say to the people, yes, I stand on my word. I'm not going to go back on my word. The RU is supposed to do X, Y, Z. And the actions of Mr. Gadraj are reprehensible. And we need to understand that, the people are suffering at the end of the day, like he said.
Yeah.
The people are suffering. So I would like to see, and as we circle back to the idea of democracy that we started with, Chad, that allow democracy to rule. The party of the AP and UAFC won the region. And so they like to run around and use the word democracy very loosely. And nothing is democratic about what they're doing in region number 4. Absolutely. If you're going to give all the power to one man who is exercising this power through the authority of the tin pot dictator, what we get is a situation where people feel as if there is no real democracy. And that's the reality of it. That what you see is what you get. They're trying to control the region, a region that was won by the AP and UAFC. And that is the heart of the matter. They cannot accept that they lost the region and the AP and UAFC has the right to manage the affairs of the region. And they will do everything so that does not happen. And so my closing thoughts here is that I want the PPP councillors and Mr. Gadraj and the minister and the AG to know that this was one of them fights that we're ready for. And we are not going to sit back and allow the PPP to control by proxy a region that was won by the AP and UAFC.
Correct.
It's not going to happen.
Correct.
And so we are ready for this fight. That's all I will say.
Thank you so much, Councillor Randolph Critchlow, for unpacking, the happenings at the RDC4 Region Democratic Council Region 4 for us and putting context to it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Anytime.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. We gone. That's going to do it for us at this end. We're going to see you guys back this evening in the ring. Final program for the day. That's going to do it for us at this end. Take care now. Good to see all of you showed up. Audrey and Vanessa, Gwyneth, John Jones, Maria, Vera, Ingrid, and all you fantastic folks. Thanks for joining us. Give the program a share. Smash that emoji button. Partner with us as well, folks, as you know how. Let me go down the road. Thanks for joining us, guys. That's all. Stay safe out there. Stay safe, folks. That's our time.